Welcome to our video on American film comedy classics of the 1970s. This decade revolutionized comedy through irreverence, satire, and boundary-pushing humor, giving birth to a new era of cinematic laughter. This program is brought to you by the Series of Thoughts team as part of the Film Studies and Humor series. We begin with Chapter 1, The Dawn of Counterculture Comedy. Why the 1970s? Post-Vietnam Rebellion and social upheaval created a demand for humor that questioned authority and reflected widespread disillusionment. Studios responded by breaking boundaries, taking creative risks, and ensuring that virtually nothing was off-limits. The decade brought new faces and voices, including Mel Brooks, the fearless satirist, Woody Allen, exploring urban anxieties, the manic energy of Gene Wilder, and the British absurdists of Monty Python, who revolutionized comedy structure. Chapter 2 focuses on the iconic films that define the decade. MASH, from 1970, directed by Robert Altman, blended dark comedy with anti-war commentary. The film, starring Donald Sutherland and Elliot Gould, introduced a new cinematic language and proved comedy could tackle serious subjects. Blazing Saddles, in 1974, was revolutionary satire. Mel Brooks shattered Western conventions and tackled racism with boundary-pushing humor. The film sparked cultural debates and proved nothing was sacred in comedy. Young Frankenstein, also from 1974, was a genre-perfect parody. Mel Brooks and Gene Wilder created a loving tribute to 1930s horror. Wilder delivered a masterpiece performance, balancing sophistication with manic physical comedy. Monty Python and the Holy Grail, released in 1975, brought the Python troupe's absurdist revolution to cinema. The film's quotable genius, like The Black Knight and The Killer Rabbit, launched Monty Python to international stardom. Annie Hall, from 1977, revolutionized comedy with Woody Allen's neurotic romantic tale. It broke traditional narrative structures and achieved Oscar triumph, proving comedy could earn artistic legitimacy. It defined the subgenre of urban neurosis. Animal House, in 1978, created definitive frat house chaos. Director John Landis showcased John Belushi's breakthrough performance as Bluto. This box office phenomenon became the highest-grossing comedy of its time. Harold and Maude, a 1971 dark comedy masterpiece, was an unconventional romance scored by Cat Stevens. It became a cult classic, celebrated for its life-affirming message of living authentically and rejecting social conventions. The Jerk, in 1979, marked Steve Martin's arrival in film. Director Carl Reiner showcased Martin's unique blend of absurdist humor, physical comedy, and surreal logic, establishing him as a major comedy star. The Pink Panther Strikes Again, from 1976, provided slapstick perfection. Peter Sellers, at his peak as Inspector Clouseau, continued to define physical comedy, solidifying the franchise's success throughout the decade. Life of Brian, a 1979 Monty Python film, was a controversial satire about religious fanaticism. Its philosophical depth and irreverence produced sharp commentary. The anthem, Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, cemented its cultural impact. Chapter 3 explores the comedic legends behind the laughs. Mel Brooks, the satirical genius, demonstrated fearless vision, tackling sensitive topics with irreverence. His legacy, from Young Frankenstein to Blazing Saddles, proved that satire could be both smart and silly. Woody Allen, the neurotic intellectual, created a unique voice exploring anxiety and urban life. He utilized innovative storytelling, earning critical acclaim, including the Best Picture win for Annie Hall, which gave comedy artistic legitimacy. Gene Wilder, the manic perfectionist, was known for controlled chaos and explosive outbursts. His collaboration with Brooks produced masterpieces, and his enduring appeal stems from characters who are simultaneously unhinged and deeply human. Monty Python's team of absurdists brought collective genius to global audiences. Their signature style featured surreal sketches and a complete disregard for traditional narrative, influencing modern comedy worldwide. Chapter 4 examines comedy's cultural impact and legacy. These films shaped American humor by channeling counterculture expression and anti-establishment sentiment. This boundary-breaking media revolution influenced everything from Saturday Night Live to the comedy boom of the 1980s. Quotable lines from the decade still live on. From The Black Knight's denial, "It's only a flesh wound," to Animal House's rallying cry, "Toga! Toga! Toga!" These phrases became cultural touchstones. Many soundtracks from the 70s became hits. Cat Stevens' folk rock for Harold and Maude and Henry Mancini's iconic Pink Panther theme are inseparable from the films and define the sound of the decade. The era fostered midnight movie culture. Films like Harold and Maude found devoted audiences through late-night screenings, becoming cult classics and icons for audiences seeking alternatives to mainstream entertainment. The 70s saw the rise of ensemble and character-driven comedy. Animal House pioneered the ensemble formula and launched careers like John Belushi. Comedy shifted focus from jokes to character, creating humor organically. Chapter 5 highlights hidden gems and lesser-known classics. The In-Laws, from 1979, featured the unlikely pairing of Alan Arkin and Peter Falk. Their improvised brilliance created an absurdist caper that remains an overlooked gem appreciated by connoisseurs. Slapshot, a 1977 sports comedy starring Paul Newman, captured the raw culture of minor league hockey. Its crude language and authenticity earned it a lasting cult following, especially among sports fans. What's Up, Doc? In 1972, was a screwball revival by Peter Bogdanovich, starring Barbra Streisand. It paid homage to classic slapstick and proved that sophisticated farce still had enduring appeal and commercial success. The Hot Rock, a 1972 heist comedy, followed Robert Redford's crew in repeatedly stealing the same diamond. William Goldman's smart script and the film's dry wit made it an underappreciated favorite. Finally, Chapter 6 examines why 1970s comedies still matter today. The enduring legacy of 70s comedy classics is defined by breaking barriers and fearless innovation. These films celebrate a decade that made comedy dangerous, intelligent, and unforgettable, proving that laughter can be both entertaining and subversive.